Welcome back, guys. Anyone that's new to the channel, welcome. Right, I said I'm going to be doing my Resin Bells, okay? Because I turned my bell the other day. Right, now, quick one. First off, the resin I use is this one, the epoxy. Comes in, it's two-part. You mix it 2-to-1 ratio. I got this off of eBay. It comes from Germany. I bought it on eBay. It was here 3 days later, so it's pretty good. This is the 3 kilo kit I got, which works out, I think it was £34, which I thought was really good price. I've bought some before. I've paid 60-70 quid for half a kilo, and it's not been as good as this. Goes off in no time, literally in an hour it starts setting. And this, I only poured it yesterday afternoon, and it's solid and it's okay to turn today, so I find that really good. So that's the epoxy. That's the advert done out of the way. If they're watching this, you can put the check in the post. Right, now then, I'm prepping me bells. So what I've done, because now the mould I used, I got these out of Poundland. You're gonna all think I'm such a cheapskate, don't you? Eh? But I don't like throwing money. I don't like wasting money on things or being ripped off by people. Okay, right, now then, these are out of Poundland, little shop ones. So basically, I poured my resin into that. I put a little plug in this end, which I hot melt glued onto that. Then I poured my resin in. Okay, saves wasting all that resin, because I'm going to turn all that away, because this is going to be the end of the bell. So they made a really good mould, but unfortunately they taper the wrong way for a bell, so I want it that way. So I'm flattening it off, making little tops to go in. They're going to glue, because I want that dark wood on the top of the bell anyway, and that's sapele, so that's going to darken up. It'd be nice if you had a nice black wood or something. But I've already drilled a 6mm hole through it, because I'm going to hang them. They're going to have a ribbon going through, and I might make little clangers for these. I probably will. That's going to be turned away. So I'm just doing these at the moment. This is just the prep bit. So these are the prep videos. I don't want to do this all on one long video, because it would take me about 4 hours or so, because there's so many little bits and pieces I'm preparing. Right, so they're going to be epoxied onto there. So what I've done 3 of them. I'm going to show you what I'm doing with the last one. Okay. So Lisa's going to bring you down onto the chuck. Are you down now?
I'm down there.
Right, so when I glued those up, I put tenons on the end of those ready. Okay, so I'm just mounting that into my chuck. And what I've got to do, because the cup leaves that with a rounded edge, so I've just got to flatten that off first. Okay, so I'm putting face shield on, returning resin, and you know, you don't want anything. Oh, and by the way, with the resin, because it's a clear resin, I just put some, I mixed up a red with a bit of white in it, made it sort of go a pinky colour, but there are a few white streaks in it. I just used an acrylic dye, that's all it was. Put that in on that one. On the green ones, I've done a bit of the pink, the red, and the green all mixed in. Sorry if I'm down here. And then on, so I don't want to get my bits of ribbon mixed up, because I've already turned all these ones. Right, they're there. That's for today. Right, this one, it's a bit transparent inside there, so that's going to look nice when that's actually turned, because remember, all the inside stuff's got to be turned away. And that's got a bit of pink in it as well, so it should look quite a nice bell, actually. Right, anyway, face shield on, because it's resin. Right, okay, I'm just going to use the 14mm square chisel, and all I'm going to do is turn this flat. Look at that, lovely ribbons. Nice and warm on my ear roll, that. Right, now, just check this. Just check this flat. Yep, I've got that flat, so that's flat there. I might just give them right. That's it, that's enough. Right, that's that prep. Okay. Now, a little tip here. I have a tendency to always put my chisel under my arm when I'm doing stuff. So I will do something, I've got to take that off the right, I put that under there and I come round here and I do this. But you got a very sharp cutter there, and I cut my hand yesterday because I went for something, come back and I caught my hand and cut my hand. So that, if you put it under that way, it's not so bad, but I always just naturally go like that. It's a habit I've got to try and get out of. But there you go, just a little tip, be careful if you're putting your chisel under your arm. Lisa says to me, well, why'd you do it? I said, because it's what I do. that's what I do. All these quotes I get from films. See that? Van Helsing. And he said, why do you torment that creature so much? Because that's what I do. It's his job. Right, okay, let's get back to it. Right, now, this, one of these, I want to be this size. Like I said, I've already put a hole in the centre of them, like that, and all of these. I've just got to turn that. That's basically so I can get hold of that for when I'm hollowing it out. Okay? Did you see all that? Yeah. Right, okay. Right, okay. So we'll use one of my parting tools, which I've been asked quite a bit about actually. Why don't we have a little chat about it? Right. So these, my parting tools, I make from saw blades because I could never find a parting tool that did what I wanted it to do. Stay sharp for now and ever, and be able to cut with no relief cuts. I can push straight in. Now I make these. This one I've made in 3 sizes. Okay, for me, and I make these up for myself. I haven't made them for people. I'm quite happy to. If anyone wants one, I will make them up for you. Just email me. But I don't have them on my website. They're not they're not anything pretty or special. It's a saw blade put into one of my handles. Okay, and I do 2 sizes. This was my original one. Now I've had this one for about 4 years on the go now, and it's still as sharp as the day I put it on there. I mean, it's a saw blade. At the end of the day, it's got a tungsten tip. But the beauty of it, this has got a 3mm tip, and it's got 2mm. The actual blade was 2mm. On this one I do, this has got a 3mm tip, no, a 4mm tip, sorry, and a 3mm shaft. So it's a nice, very strong one. A lot of the time I use the thin one because I lose less wood. But the beauty with these is they don't bite up, so you can push them straight in. Now I've actually got, and it will be, and I'll be showing this on another video. I've actually got a bowl blank here. It's a bit of cedar oil laburnum. It says, oh, I'm so fed up of turning bowls. I've turned thousands of bowls through my time of wood turning. I do not like turning bowls anymore. I like to do spindle work, specialist work is what I do. So yeah, this I'm going to part. I want to part this. I want it in 2 halves for my carousel that I'm going to make. And the beauty with these parting tools, not this one, the slightly longer one, is I can do that. I will part that on the lathe in 1 pass, and I'll show you that when I do it. And it's very safe. There's no biting, there's no grabbing. So right, first off, I'm going to now part this off. Maybe back on. Yep. Right, I've marked it where I want to part it, and I just come straight in. There we go. Lovely clean finish on there. Little bit there, and that's it. 1 pass, no biting, no catching, no grabbing. It can't bind up because the cutter, as I say, the cutter's 4mm, the shank is 3mm. So that enables, and I can do that on that bowl blank, which I will be doing. Right, okay, let's get back to doing this. So I've got to get a mark on here. Get your thumb behind it, because this is end grain. This will try to chase back. Okay, so little mark, doesn't quite match up. Bring it back, there we are. 2 points are matching up, so I know that's where I've got to come down to. Right. Now I only want to go in about that much, and then I'm just going to judge the taper. I don't know what the taper is, I'm just doing it by eye. I mean, most of that's going to be turned, it's going to be epoxied in. Put your chisel down, don't put it under your arm. Right, let's just check. Right, I'm way under at the moment, so right, a little bit more. So we're going to come in slightly, a little bit, taper. I wasn't putting that under my arm, I was just itching my armpit. Right, I'm so used to putting it under my arm, it's terrible. Right. A little bit more, only a little bit now. Small bites. Right, that's gonna be, yeah, that's perfect fit. Get a bit, that'll be epoxied in, and then that will enable me to turn it right, shape a bit of the outside of the bell from here, and then that, sorry, let me take my face shield off, I don't need that now. So that will enable me to do, I will, sorry, shape that around, and then I will take this all out. I'll turn all this away, and then I might make up a jam chuck to put it on. I don't know, I'm going to think about how I'm going to hold it when I reverse it, because I don't want to damage it, and it's going to be quite thin. So I think it's going to be put onto a jam chuck, and then I shall turn this around, and all that's going to be is a slight dome top, sort of over and up a little bit, and that's all it's got to be, because it's going to have the hole in the top. It's going to have a red or a green ribbon put through it, and it's going to hang. And when that's, sorry, I'm down here for the camera.
That's right.
It's all right.
There you go.
Yeah, so that's gonna hang from a ribbon, and I'll probably put a clanger inside it maybe, but they're just gonna hang, and that's it. So that should look quite nice, and we'll see how it goes. I've not done anything that thin before, but I was looking up, because I'm looking into doing these. I want to make some nutcrackers and the Christmas carousel, and I looked on YouTube and I saw Colin Way, who was doing the carousel, and I actually see him do a bowl. He done it out of a square, I think Axpins to sell him the square bits of acrylic, and he made a bell out of that, and I thought, well, that's quite good. I'd like to do my version of it, do it my way. You know, it's I don't think there's anything you could ever do, unless you was born about 500 years ago, that you could say you were the only person that's ever done it. Anything you do, probably someone somewhere has done it before, but you can do your version. You know, I always say, it's copying someone is like complimenting someone. It's paying homage to them. You want to make what they've made, you want to copy them, that's fine. The problem comes when you copy someone and then you say it's your idea, or, you know, it's yours. That's different. So I always think copying someone is good. That's saying, I like what you've done and I want to do the same as you, so I'm going to give it a go, but I'm going to do my little way of it. So that's that. So yeah, it's not my idea, but I've never turned one. I want to try it. I've done resin stuff. I've not turned anything like this to turn a bell, so we'll see how that goes. It could all fall apart. It could go all right. I think it'll be all right. So we'll see. I've got 4 of them to turn, so I've got them all prepped for now. So I'm going to epoxy. You don't need to see me glue it. I'm just going to basically epoxy resin that in and glue it in, and then I'll be turning them. So I've got 2 green and 2 pink. I won't bore you with watching me turn. You'll see me turn probably the best one I do. I don't know. You'll see me turn anyway, and that'll be that. So right, I think that covers everything.
The only difference is you're going to be using carbide chisels. Your carbide.
Yes, I will be doing it all with carbide chisels. As I said, I do tend to turn with traditional tools quite a lot, but there's so many people out there that can show you how to turn with traditional tools. And the same, I turn my way. I do things my way. I feel safe doing them. They work for me. If you don't feel safe, don't do it. Find your own way of doing things. You know, I like to make my own tools. That's how I got into tool making. Most of my work now that I do is commission work. I like to do restoration work. Just recently I made a load of curtain ends for curtain rails for an estate home, and I had to do 40 of those. So, but it had to be made out of 200-year-old wood. They wanted a certain wood and they was made. So I do that sort of work. That's my actual job. And I do, obviously I make all the carbide chisels, and that's what I do. So I like to make if I see a tool, I like to see if I can make a tool. Just actually recently made some tools up. Well, not recently, these are a little while ago. But this is like one of my skews, because I wanted a big, heavy, chunky skew. So I made this up. I bought some tool steel. I heated it up. I quenched it so it can hold an edge. And that's a skew that I made up. I made a big scraper, parting tools. I like tools like this parting tool. See, this does me for certain jobs I do. Again, it's a piece of tool steel. Just buy it off of eBay. And quench it. So basically just heat it up. If you want to go over the top with all these M42 steels and stuff like that, then fair enough. But for me, this does a job. This works. And it does a lot of work. It works hard, these tools. And I just heated it up with a blowtorch, got it bright red, and just quenched it in some oil. Do that a couple of times, and that's it. You can sharpen it out, and it'll hold an edge for ages. And they work well, because I can't just go and buy these tools. So that's why I like to make them. So that's enough of that. Right, anyway, I've got more to do. So toodle pip, and you'll see me on the next one when I'm turning the bell.
See you later, guys.